All right, so here we go again, drum brakes. This is a carrier plate or backing plate off of a 65 Mustang. And it's got some bad wear in it. You know, these pads right here, these shoe pads, if your drum is warped, okay, what'll happen is these will keep grinding away at this backing plate. Okay, and this is why you won't feel a pulsation when it comes to drum brakes on the rear. Okay, what happens is that you see how the wheel cylinder is, and let's see you got a warped drum. All that is just transferring fluid like that. You're not going to feel that in a brake pedal. All right, it's just going back and forth. So you're not going to feel a pulsation. Now, if your drum has been cut on a lathe, and you all know it's just, you know, when you put it on the lathe, the drum spins around, creates a bunch of harmonics, it chatters. So you put the rubber belt on it, gets rid of the chatter, or sometimes the way you mock it up on the lathe will prevent it or make things worse with chatter. But anyways, moving on. If you have a groove, okay, in your drum, ta-da! All right, when you put this on the lathe, you have a cutter, a carbide, that cuts the drum one line, like a record. Well, what happens is if you don't crosshatch that or if it's not finished right, what will happen is those shoes will grab that ridge and they'll slap. They'll ride up the drum and return, ride up and return. And what you'll get, it sounds like a tapping noise. And depending on when it rides up the drum and when it releases, because you got both sides doing that, it'll sound like a clicking, like a tick 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 when you come to a stop, coming from the rear. Now, did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? See that? See that? See how those shoes are? Wrong. Completely wrong. Secondary shoe, primary shoe. I got the secondary shoe on the primary side, and I got the primary shoe on the secondary side. Like that. Okay? Long shoe over here, short shoe over here. Why? Car drum brakes. Here we go. The primary shoe pushes, it grabs it, it grabs the drum and it pushes into the secondary shoe. All right? So most of your stopping power, and this is why this is usually sometimes, depending on what car, is thicker than this side. This side, yes, it is a friction material. It does grab the drum and creates friction, but this primary job here, its primary purpose is to shove that secondary shoe as hard as it can into the drum. And that's why the anchor pin is right here, okay? Because all that pressure hits that anchor pin. So that's why drum brakes suck. Now, when it comes to truck brakes, when I talk about semi-trucks, they use a chamber, and it's hooked to a clevis, and the clevis goes to a slack adjuster, and the slack adjuster goes to an S-cam, and you got your bushings in the spider assembly, and the S-cam rolls and applies the pressure, okay? That's different, okay? And if you look on truck brakes, they're at a wedge shape on one side, okay? And that's because the S-cam, it will rotate and it will shove the shoes into the brake drum, okay? That's why trucks have better holding power and stopping power. This is a different animal. This is a car. This is a passenger vehicle. They put them on light trucks and heavy-duty trucks, not semi. And there's a reason for it, because it's weak and it doesn't stop worth a damn. So I'll get on to disc brakes later. Here we go. You clean your pads, make sure they're nice and good. Put a little schmutz. And this is way too much. Just way too much. You just want a little transparent film, okay? Just transparent film. Now, I forgot something. Okay, we are back. Sorry, I forgot to put these in the pile of parts there. So, goes there, goes there. Just transparent film, okay? Very, very small amount. So, you take your, not an emergency brake bar. This is a parking brake bar, okay? We don't want anyone suing anyone around here. In case of emergencies, they just hit the park brake. Right? Y'all don't remember that one, do you? I would go into detail, but it's really not important. So anyways, this woman, lady, gets in an accident. She's like, what is an emergency situation? So I hit the park brake, or the emergency brake, she called it. Well, that didn't go over too well. She won. Now it's called the park brake. And it was always a park brake. Crude, but effective. Just give it a little schmutz. Schmutz. I knew a guy with a license plate schmutz. I think it was a 67 Nova. His name's Dave Colombo. He's a really good guy. He passed, unfortunately. But anyways, just get some lubrication on there. Put that in like so. Now, usually there's a guide bar that goes on the anchor pin here that holds the primary and secondary shoe from coming off, but this car did not have one, nor does it have room for one, okay? Because if it did have a guide for the shoes, okay, many of you don't know, see the anchor pin? It doesn't have a provision for a guide for the shoes, so it don't have one, so don't bother looking for one. And don't put one on there. Oh well. Alright, so I'm just taking my time. I'm just, futzing around. I'm really not in a hurry because I don't need to be. And if I was in a hurry, I assure you, this would already be together. Just going through the motions here. Retaining spring, a hold down spring, however you want to say. Now I usually just use my hands for this spring, but I want to try and use the tools I have rather than being a caveman and hitting with my hands and forcing my hands. So hold down spring. Okay, boing boing. I know this video is probably boring as all hell. Y'all know how to do this, all right? I'm just doing this because, I don't know, I'm bored. I've been bored all day. I got so much to work on, but, the parts, the parts supply and everything, it's insane. I'm waiting for parts. Parts that I shouldn't be waiting on, all right? So, if you're ever working on a 65 Mustang and you got a cruise drive, automatic, C4, whatever you want to call them, it takes the rear output shaft seal, the same one as a Turbo Hydromatic 350. Go figure. All right, now time for the emergency park brake strut. Okay, this is a park brake strut. This engages the secondary shoe. This is your anti-rattle spring, so you don't hear it rattling, okay? Serves no purpose other than that. This is not a return, it's an anti-rattle spring. And that goes on the wrong side. Here's your cable guide, okay? There, and your cable. goes first. Okay. This is your adjuster return spring that goes on the bottom. These are your primary and secondary shoe return springs, okay? See how that goes there? See how that goes there? Okay? All plays a role. Now, since the guide and cable are on this side, I'll go ahead and lock this down. Hopefully it doesn't snap back and go underneath my fingernail. That would suck. Okay. Then you take that side, you put it on, and you lock it down. Now you can use this to take it apart, okay? You can do that. Do this to that, same thing. That down. There you go. There, everything's locked down, okay, on the top. Now we go to the bottom. Sorry, this is long-winded. Like I said, I'm just kind of futzing through it. I'm not really... Let's see if this is... Just a little bit, okay? This isn't the north where you got to really pour this stuff on. By the way, I don't like using anti-seize. I really don't. If you live in a northern state, okay, if you do live in a northern state, you want to use a thread sealer. Not on brakes, okay? Not on brakes. Let's get that clear. You know what? I'm not even going to show you that now. I don't want to confuse anyone. So I'm just kind of a little transparent there. This is your adjuster lever, okay? This is your adjuster hook. Your adjuster hook goes on the same side as your star wheel opening or your star wheel on your adjuster, okay? Just a little. Careful not to get this stuff on your shoes, all right? It's terrible stuff. Your shoes will just absorb it. And I usually use Seal Glide, okay? It's really great stuff. It's actually made for brake systems. Or lithium. Lithium is good because it really doesn't get contaminated as much. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, God. See that? I'm talking to you guys and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. God. Oh, my God. I feel so embarrassed. So I wasn't paying attention. See the right? This is the right side. I've done so many of these, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Now, see what I did there? Let me tell you guys something. All right? So I messed up. All right? And you see how I bend these twice now? These are garbage. I will not reuse those, all right? And the reason why you want to replace said springs is because of heat fatigue, all right? Your brakes heat up, they get hot, and they're going to fatigue, okay? It's as simple as that. So you want to replace your springs because of heat fatigue. Yeah, oh, they look fine. None of them are broke. They're not, rubbing on anything. Malarkey. You need to replace them. What happens is when they fatigue, they don't return as good, okay? And when they don't return as well, your shoes will drag, okay? So you always want to replace your spring. I'll just do that. Most of these kits are universal anyway, so that helps out. I just think I do. Yeah, don't put your fingers there. Don't put your fingers here. Do not put your fingers anywhere near here. Just kind of help it down. And when you get a good grip, oop, it all comes apart. Let's try that again. I got to put this back in place. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm having such a hard time. This is actually the first time ever since Bob Urovac's class over in Polaris Career Center there. This is the first time I'm doing it on the bench, all right? I mean, they're usually on the car. Okay? So that's my excuse. I mean, I could do what Electro Boom does, just, hurt himself. But see, we're not talking about electricity. We're talking about shit that'll really fuck you up. I mean, not that electricity won't mess you up, because it definitely will. But it's not like I'm just getting zapped or burned and I've had my fair share of burns. I've actually was using a torch and it slipped because I was lazy and wasn't paying attention and young. And the torch was on a big flame and it engulfed my whole hand. See? Beautiful. I survived. Now my father-in-law told me, do it again, buddy. Maybe you'll learn. I love him. He's great. He's the best. So there you go. Blah, 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 blah. What am I looking for? See that? Put that spring in. Actually, this is how I do this. I usually just give it one of these. Okay. Of course, it's going to tell me I'm a liar. There we go. Now I can pull that back into place. This is terrible doing it on a bench. This thing's flopping around. It's horrible. My God. What a dumb idea to do this on a bench. Oh, you want to make sure that this hook is relaxed too. And if your brakes do have one of these adjusters, just replace the cable while you're in there. These cables snap and they get on the drum and everything. And let's see here. Didn't think I'd need to do this. I didn't do it for the other side. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's on the bench. I'm a retard. In the car, you really don't need to use this, but go. Okay, there's your. And what I do is I'll smack these back and forth. Okay, make sure everything's in place, and don't forget your plug, and make sure that your adjuster wheel adjusts, and there you go. That's how you put together rear brake drums, minus the part where I had to take everything back apart and use a separate kit. So, let's see. What else can I tell you? Bleed your brakes. Let's see here. So I'll put the drum on. I'll spin it. I'll make sure there's a slight drag. You keep adjusting it. Okay. Now in front wheel drive, all right, let's just pretend that this is front wheel drive. You got your ball joint, right? Your ball joint's like right here. You know, it's sticking up right here. And that's why you need this. Okay. This is called a brake shoe. Okay. This is how you adjust that star wheel. Now your ball joint is usually like right here, right? And it's just in the way, and I mean, it's giving you a hard time. Don't think so, Tim. Get right in there and adjust that. This, if I ever lost this, I would probably just go out and get another one. So that's that. And then you got your regulars. You know, you reach up in there. You got your picks you can use to push the star wheel away. Okay. Sometimes you can reach up in here with a screwdriver. Let's see if I can. Well, sometimes you'll have like a pick like this. You'll reach up in there and you can actually push. What you want to do is you actually want to push this out of the way and then use your tool to, you're adjusting it to where the shoes go out, adjusting it where the shoes come in closer. So there you go. There you have it. Now, how do I get that park brake cable to engage this bar? I sure hope I got another kit. I might have to take it apart again. Not really. It's actually easy to get it in there like that. But if you do it on a bench, that's how you do it on a bench. It's slow, it's cumbersome, it's a pain. So there you go. What else can I tell you other than this is drum brakes, and it took a long arse time to put this together. All right, yeah, I'll catch you on a flip. All right, guys, so you see how my hands are all dirty and everything? Now, one thing I forgot to tell you guys, and this is what I usually do, okay? I'm sorry if I didn't do this. It's just, you know, this really isn't that big of a deal, but I do have some like really good actual brake shoe cleaner that I'll clean this off with. And if you want to protect these and your, you know, greasy, grimy stuff, whatever, just put some tape over it, okay? Just tape it, tape the pads, and then you can do whatever you want, however you want, get it on the vehicle, get it situated. And then when you're ready to adjust the drum, put the drum on and everything, just take the tape off. Simple, easy.